Hello, my wonderful viewers, and welcome to another episode of Betty Adams Overanalyzes. Today we're going to take a fuller spoilery look at Chapter 78 of Kaiju number 8. And, whew boy, this chapter was not what I was expecting. See, we all had extremely solid expectations of this chapter. Recall, Chapter 77 ended on a full-page spread of one kaiju, one officer, poised to fight. And we know we are solidly in the tourney arc of a Shonen Jump. This was the first major battle of that tourney arc, the semifinals as it were. The last page left the whole situation queued up nicely. No questions, just expectations. Now, I'm going to jump right into the spoilers, so if you don't want to find out why a tourney chapter was so shocking, you can go check out the links below the video to get yourself a copy of Humans Are Weird, I Have the Data. Short, absurd science fiction stories. Now, back to the kaiju. We got exactly what Matsumoto promised on this page. Our expectations were fulfilled. Our beloved Kikoru, her dark twin, battling to the death. It's just the death match, the battle, Kikoru not being able to overcome this enemy in the semifinals of the tournament as it gears up. That was expected. We got it, but that wasn't the point of this chapter. We got the battle we were expecting, but the battle was, I don't want to say mere window dressing, but that would be wrong. There's nothing mere about it. The motion is fluid, the art is beautiful, the stakes are heart-pounding. Already with the first raw blast of power back in Chapter 77, Kikoru, our protagonist in this scene, has failed her mother, her promise to her mother, remember? No one dies on any battlefield Kikoru sets foot on. That's what she declared as an arrogant rich girl as she saved Kafka from failing the test. No one dies, she explained as the patronizing friend as Kafka worries over the fate of Rino and Iharu. No one dies, she said the grim officer as she took the field with her axe. And 6 of her brothers in arms die before her very eyes as she looks on in shocked horror. The friends she's been sweating and bleeding for 3 months with die because she wasn't able to stop that thing, because she wasn't fast enough, because she wasn't strong enough, because it knew her every move. Kikoru Shinomiya failed. She failed her promise to herself, she failed her promise to her mother. Sure, this is shonen. A secondary heroine like Kikoru stands every chance of digging deep and pulling a mulligan out of the power of friendship, or the voice of her father, or her new axe having a knob that cranks things up to 11. But I don't think that's going to happen. See, right now, our beloved Kikoru, she is the Defense Force's greatest weakness. And the fact that Screamy Science Guy and director Baldy are personally backing her up makes it so much worse. You see, what is the Kaiju Defense Force major problem right now? Kaiju number 9, for all of his power, for all of his physical strength, that's not the problem. He has everything that Director General Shinomiya knew at his grubby little fungal fingertips. And if you follow my channel, you know I think that Kaiju number 9 probably has the memories of Captain Hikaru Shinomiya as well. But that aside, theories aside, Kaiju number 9 intimately knows everything about the Director General's daughter, as well as her father knew. And he has full access to that because we saw the Director General lose the fight 3 months before the start of this battle. Kaiju number 9 has had 3 solid months to chew over everything a loving father knew about his daughter. It knows everything about the Director General's oldest friend in Director Baldy, and Kaiju number 9 sure as shootin' knows everything about the Director General's most recent personal assistant, Screamy Science Guy, or Caruso, as we know him. See, Kaiju number 9 isn't just fighting Kikoru, he is fighting her and her backup, and he knows every one of them. No, I don't think Kikoru is going to win this battle. Her armor, both in universe and plot, will keep her alive, of course, but I think she's going to get beaten to a pulp. She's going to be roundly defeated, and she'll probably have to be saved again, utterly destroying her confidence. Heck, as far as we know, she could even get absorbed by Kaiju number 9 in this arc, though I kind of doubt that. I think the resolution of this situation is going to depend on Reno and the other unknown rookies. Recall, they have been training as hard as everyone else, and we haven't seen hide nor hair of them, especially the military guy and the rich kid. But ultimately, what happens next in this battle, it doesn't matter. Live, die, or get absorbed, Private Kikoru Shinomiya failed in her round of the tourney. She failed an entire chapter ago when she watched her brothers die. So, no, this chapter won't be about Kikoru and Kaiju number 15, or rather this arc. Recall, we had 2 setup characters for this battle. Several people online were complaining... we had 2 setup chapters for this battle. Several people online were complaining about that. So they said, oh, come on, this was already set up in Chapter 76. Why are they setting it up again in Chapter 77? Why did we see the Kaiju battle listed twice? Why 2 chapters? But that wasn't random on Matsumoto's part. Look again. The first chapter, the situation is set up from the perspective of the officers on the ground in Chapter 76. Now, this is the perspective that we usually get with the tourney arc, the ones who are actually battling. The chapter opens from Kafka's perspective, then switches between the different perspective of our 5 officers on the ground. Then you have Chapter 77. It opens up from the perspective of Screamy Science Guy, swings to Glasses Girl, Okanogi, then winds up on High Commander Baldy. Chapter 77 took us out of the battlefield and placed us not only in the tents, but in the heads of the support staff watching from the command center. It was a shift in perspective so subtle that none of us noticed it in the chapter, and it has some pretty telling implications. See, no matter what goes down out there, no matter how badly the battle goes, no matter who falls or dies or is absorbed on the battlefield, the High Command stands a very decent chance of surviving. Because remember, you have those backup, the numbers, weapons 3, 5, and 7, multiple of them out there ready to swoop in. You have Reno with weapon number 6 that the Director General knew nothing about. You have the other 2 rookies. They're all out there, and recall that there are 3 prongs to Kikoru's weakness to her father looking at this. Her father knew hardly anything about any of those, but Kaiju number 9 intimately knows Kikoru now. He knows her mentality. He knows her battle strategy. He knows everything about the mentors that she trained under, because her father knew that. Kaiju number 9 intimately knows everything about Director Baldy, because Director Baldy is the friend that Director General Shinomiya trained with. And Kaiju number 9 knows Screamy Science Guy, who was the Director General's main support and is Kikoru's main support. Now, if Kikoru is going to win, if Kikoru is going to survive this, something has to change. Now, they can't pull Kikoru off the field. She's too powerful a weapon to waste. They can't put her in a box until this is over. And, well, as for the Director Baldy, he does not interfere with the actions of the officers on the field. He follows the age-old military wisdom of promoting the best and getting out of their way. We saw him do that when he put Captain Narumi in charge of deciding what happened to Kafka. So Director Baldy really isn't an element here. He's just making decisions and taking the blame. So even if he is removed, that won't have much of an effect on this fight. So, that only leaves the best support staff officer in the Defense Force, Director General Iso Shinomiya's personal support operative. A man the Director General knew well, a man whose tactics Kaiju number 9 will be able to predict with precision. Hold up, I gotta go grab his name. Kurusu. Kurusu? Anyway, Screamy Science Guy. This chapter was about Kurusu. It was about how Kurusu is reacting to watching the daughter of the man who saved his life getting beaten to a pulp. It was about how Kurusu was aware of every jewel of Kikoru's power. It was about how Kurusu is doing his best to make sure that Kikoru Shinomiya wins this fight no matter the cost. After all, he did the same thing for her father. It was Kurusu who stayed in the command tent, the only one who stayed in the command tent with the Director General, offering his services to the Director General. It was Kurusu who kept Director General Shinomiya fighting long after the old man's body had completely failed. It was Kurusu with tears in his eyes who almost allowed the Director General to win. Almost. It was Kurusu who ultimately felled the senior Shinamaya. It was Kurusu who is so well personally known to Director General. And Kurusu is the only element on the battlefield that can reasonably be changed to any effect. Recall, there were 3 support staff focused on the Chapter 76 setup. Director Baldi, who's not an active element. He's a decision guy. Then you have Kurusu, who is now a liability. And you have Glasses Girl, the young and relatively unknown to Director General Okanogi. So, here's what I think is going to go down, my wonderful watchers. Kurusu is going to realize that he's a liability, and being a man of honor, he's going to step down, leaving Okanogi in his place. Will this happen soon enough to save Kikoru from giving number 9 a full set of Shinamayas? I don't know, which is why I'm eagerly awaiting the next several chapters. We are going to watch Kikoru just get bodied, see a shonen protagonist fail, and probably Reno is going to come in with ice guns blazing. Win-win-win. But what do you think, my wonderful viewers? Am I reading too much into the perspective switching into Kurusu's head as opposed to Kikoru's? Leave a comment telling me where you think these chapters is going. Leave a comment telling me what you think our beloved Screamy Science Guy is going to do. Hit that like and subscribe button. Go check out my books, Humans Are Weird, Short Absurd Science Fiction. And peace out, my wonderful viewers.